All right, so back to gene editing. This comes from another source called Alternet. I've never heard of this website, but what they have to talk about is intriguing to me. I hope that it brings some interest to you, like you're interested in it, brings some new ideas and new concepts to you. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll know when I post new videos and go live and all that good stuff. For those of you who are subscribed, thank you. Welcome back. So there's been a lot of talk about gene editing, and there are a lot of things that scare scientists about gene editing. I myself have some reservations about gene editing, including gene editing that would affect babies. Would I use it? Maybe. But there are a lot of scarier things other than gene editing out here. Okay, we got people running around with guns shooting up people in New Zealand. You know, we have people out here aborting babies and, you know, blaming men for it, getting pregnant because they strags, and then blaming the men that you got pregnant, and then you decide to give up and just have an abortion. I digress. So gene editing is a scary thing, and I think it is that way if you don't know what it really entails, what's really going on. So there are two types of editing you can do. You can edit somatic cells or germline cells. Somatic cells are of the body, the soma, and the soma is your organs and tissues. That, you know, tissues are just groups of organs are just groups of tissues that have a specific function, and that's all they do. You know, cells for your stomach, cells for your prostate, cells for the breast, cells for the brain, etc. And the germline cells are ones that turn you into an organism, that make you who you are, coming from the sperm and eggs. These are embryonic cells. These are totipotent cells. Pluripotent cells are cells that we have as adult. Totipotent means they have a total potential to be anything. So those are your germline cells. And what they want to do is prevent people from editing the germline cells, which makes sense because editing germline cells, now you're able to produce super soldiers. You're able to produce a highly efficient population of people. And based on the reduction of the population of people who are less or non, or who are just less melanated, I could see them wanting to introduce germline editing into their population, into their group. So when you have skin cells, liver cells, eye cells, and heart cells, these are all somatic. And when you change the genetics of somatic cells, you have a less significant effect than you do if you change germline cells. So if you get a mutation in a liver cell, you may end up with more mutant liver cells as the mutated cell divides and grows, but it will never affect your kidney or your brain. So you will accumulate these mutations in somatic tissues throughout your life. Most of the time, humans never know it or suffer any harm because you have machinery that will take care of that mutation, and you keep going on like nothing happened. This person writing the article is a geneticist who studies the genetic environmental cause of diseases and issues, birth defects such as cleft lip and cleft palate, and diseases of old age like Alzheimer's. I'm going to come to you soon with a video about old age. Michael Coleman on BGS's Hangout the other day brought up, this was last week, he brought up David Sinclair, who is a Harvard geneticist. I'm going to talk about aging a little bit later, so stay tuned to my channel to hear about that. Shout out to Michael for introducing that idea. I have heard of David Sinclair, but I didn't take him seriously, and maybe I'll look into his work more. So the geneticists have been following the gene editing news, and they're very concerned. They have interest, but they're concerned as well. I think they're interested because they're already doing a lot of these studies, and the concern is they can't be first a lot of times. So science is very competitive. Research is extremely competitive. We're mostly competing with China and Korea right now. We're also starting to compete with a lot of African nations, because there are African nations where China and Korea are, and they're merging and collaborating a lot more often now. So when you fix these faulty genes, you want to make the organism better. But editing the germline, creating babies who have these genes, is a different story, because you have a lot of ethical issues that occur. And what they call like gene doping is where you're fixing the cells who might otherwise die from a liver disease, for instance. But you can't fix all the genes. You can't fix all the genes in one person. And when you fix all the genes in a baby who is otherwise healthy, you have a higher risk proposition. So this is why the recent announcement that a Chinese scientist had done that by creating babies who were gene edited by CRISPR editing the CCR5 gene, this Delta 32 gene, that created such an uproar with that. So they're saying that the procedure, they think the procedure was safe. And even if you know it's safe, gene editing of the germline would still catapult us straight into the designer baby controversies. BGS and DONCALYPSO have a video, I try to remember to leave a link to that, where they discussed designer babies. This was months ago. Very good discussion they had. I suggest you check it out. So the main thing is fear. And fear, in my opinion, comes from lack of knowledge and research. But even though people are afraid, it's really their imagination that and the incorporation of Hollywood movies that make people think, oh, they could do this and they could do that. Well, yeah, they could. Are they? The question is not can we. The question is, are we? It's not a matter of can we do the gene editing. It's the question of, are we doing the gene editing? I will say yes and no. There's some scientists who say yes because they are doing it and they know those who are, and they'll say no because there are some people who refuse to step into that arena. This does cross lines with regenerative medicine. This also crosses lines with drug development, AI being used to develop drugs. I'll come to you with an article about that. Shout out to the Black Brain Trust and a lot of the work that they're doing with tech. I wasn't able to catch their stream last night. I'll try to remember to leave a link to that or put it somewhere in the cards or the end screen on this video. But you all let me know what you think about the future of gene editing and how you think that could become, where we're developing or creating X-Men or creating some type of superhuman race or group. But I'll leave it at that. You all let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, comment, share, subscribe, share the articles, check out some of the channels that I put cards for or description links for the description. Check out the end screens and go sub to some of these channels that I'm putting out. I don't put the video links and cards up there for nothing. I put it there for you to go sub to these individuals because they have a lot of good information to provide you. I'll leave it at that. You all let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.